positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. You know, I find it almost laughable when I hear these government workers complaining about somebody looking into their business, somebody doing an audit of what they got going on, because they don't want you to know how they're spending your tax dollars. But believe if they think you're doing something, they want to be all up in your ass. They want to make sure they can sniff your stomach lining out. But they don't want nobody looking at what they're doing. And you know, if it wasn't for your tax dollars being spent, could you imagine how much more money you could have in your pocket? Just think about if they just did away with regular income tax and they just, you know, had the tax on in the gas and whatever else. Cause you know, they got tax in the gas when you go buy gas. Then they have tax when you go to purchase stuff. Then they got tax sometimes when you travel on certain highways. Then they got tax sometimes when you want to use certain communication systems. They got all these taxes, and you think like, oh, the government needs our look. Government is supposed to work for the people, and then you talk about like uh, a government that's trying to also put censorship. Why would a government want to censor the people unless they're trying to hide something? And who in the right mind, as far as the people, would defend the IRS? I don't know anybody who wants to just give their money away. Do you understand that this country was founded on the Boston Tea Party? The revolution was founded on because England was taxing the shit out of the British colonies? Taxation, man, is one of the biggest things that keeps you stuck in the hole on top of inflation. Print more money, inflation goes up because your dollar is weaker. Then you turn around and you're thinking, oh man, the housing values are going up. No, the dollar has gotten weaker. And that's the game they play. And then you're like, well, I'm going to save some money. Well, the money you saved last year with inflation, you actually lost money. Because unless your investment, as far as your savings, kept up with inflation, your buying power is less. So if you save 30, 40,000 and it's just sitting at home, 3 years later, you might that 30,000 might only be worth like 22, 24. So how can you ever get ahead? You're paying, okay, let's say personal income tax. You make 300,000, but after taxes you might only take home 140. But yet these people don't want you to, they don't want to get audited to see where that money's going to. You got a social security system that's paying over 1 million people over the age of 120 social security. That's just waste, man. But they don't care because they're millionaires. You come in there with a government job that's making maybe 100 grand and you leave there 15 years later, you're worth 20 million. How did that happen? These people got to be the greatest investors ever. Wonder why they can't get ahead. And so they decide to work more hours, get overtime, but every time they get their paycheck back from the overtime, it's taxed too. And this whole USAID and then complaining about, well, these people aren't going to get the aid they need from the United States. Man, stop fronting, man. We have veterans here. We have homeless here. We have issues here, but you're worried about what foreign aid is getting distributed because all those black ops or dark missions you've been running now are being compromised, and they're getting exposed, and the people are finding out that you've been lying to them. This lie's been going on for a long time. A long time. I mean, I always had a questionable idea about certain spending habits when I started reading different things. And you question things when you go to jail because you're in a system, and you start looking for answers to how you got caught up in that system, because they say you're a criminal, but then you look at the people running the system, they're just as criminal, and they're making way more money than you. So the government, from what's being laid out, has been basically a mafia. I mean, they busted the mob and came up with laws to give them time and to break up their power. Well, it looks like they got the OG formula. Everybody was all upset about Elon, and he's got too much power. He shouldn't be able to do this. What have you been doing in there but getting paid under the table or taking care of whoever you need favors from? Paying off this government official, getting this contract over here. See, it's not like you or I can get any of these contracts. We don't know the people. We don't have access to these grants that you got to get approved and somebody okays your paperwork. All they're doing is shuffling funds around, and basically one hand is lacing the other hand. These people aren't working. They don't do nothing. They just sit up in there and scam. It's almost laughable, but then it's not, because you and I are busting our ass, and they want to so-called hire more IRS agents to audit all these little people, but these people don't want to get audited. Oh no, I just kind of like sit back and bite my tongue when I see the fake news and the legacy media complaining about all this and overreach, and yet people are struggling financially to pay their bills, to put gas in their car. The average person that works hard is getting the shit taxed out of them. You would have to have some type of foreign defense company, or some type of I don't know, government building plans or something to get in on this hustle, man, because they got it down packed. And then they got us arguing about race, about gender, about Puff Daddy, about Epstein, all these other things they got us looking at, when the whole time they running a straight Ponzi. And they taking it from the people. They taking it from you. I mean, if they got that much money where they can pay people that are so-called alive, that's over 120, 130 Social Security, and they can send all this money over to Iran for Sesame Street, or for condoms on the Gaza, or for transgender opera in Ireland, all these crazy, if they can send all that money, what does that tell you? That they are playing the shit out of the American people. And they want us to argue among ourselves. Pointing the fingers. We're pointing the fingers at this person, pointing the finger at that person. When we really need to be pointing the finger is at the elected officials. Because they all get in there, and, nobody's saying anything. This is the first time I've ever heard of the government even looking into their spending at this level. I've never seen anybody like Elon come in or even discuss doing an audit that didn't get slammed. Luckily Elon is, super smart and has the backing, the monetary backing, and is in a position with a hell of a leader to be able to, put eyes on this stuff. And you think about what is it called, the archaic accounting that they're doing. They're talking about they got warehouses with boxes in it still. And these people, there's checks being sent out for contracts that were canceled years ago, and they're still getting checks. Where's all the checks, man? Where's all the checks going? And then you wonder how they gave away all that money during the pandemic. That's how they give away all the money, because they wanted to keep their hustle going. So they just, let's give everybody $1,000. Let's give them $1,200, and then you got to claim it on your taxes. And if you don't, then you owe. I know people who had to pay that little $1,200 back. This shit is a joke, man. They clown the shit out of us, man. You people out there, you tell me what you think about all this. If you're against auditing the IRS, or auditing Fort Knox, or auditing the Department of Treasury, or auditing the Pentagon, or some of these other places, are you against that? Do you not want to see, if they say, okay, no more income tax, and hey, man, get your taxes from the corporations and from public works. Let us keep our money. You make $100,000, you keep $100,000. But when you start talking about you're paying, state income tax, federal tax, and they want to hold you accountable, what about holding them accountable? I have no pity for, I've seen that the World the World Economic Forum, or the whatever international conference, and they had one of the German speaker came up, and he started weeping because he's sad because J.D. Vance said something about the U.S. is going to cut back their spending or contribution to NATO, or, and it's like, really, we care over here? We give a damn because we're not giving you guys all the money you've been eating off us, you multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, the prime minister of I believe it was Germany. This shit, man, it's like, it's laughable. I feel no pity for those people, man. I feel no pity for the world leaders who are crying because, the spending's being cut. What are we getting in return over here? What are we getting, man? We get the chaos. We get censored. We get shadow banned. We get uh 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 put in a box that calls you something that you're not. People gotta wake up, man, or maybe they want to stay asleep. The Matrix is real, man. The Matrix, you watch the movie, you see how they got us like robots over here, arguing about bullshit, caught up in all this other stuff, and the people who are at these so-called heads of state are raking it in, man. They're raking it in, and it's not coming back to the communities. It's not coming back to the people. It'd be different if every year after, or every 2 years, it was like an annuity, and you got paid a $20,000 bonus. Where's the bonus for everybody? Go ahead and give everybody in America, everybody, give them a $30,000 bonus, $40,000 bonus. You were giving it away to all those other people who weren't alive, all these other LGBTQ programs. Give everybody in America a bonus. Where's our bonus at for putting up with your shit? Wake up, man. And that's why a lot of people don't trust the government. And then the people getting fired crying, they've been getting the easy paycheck. If you don't need 5,000 people to run a particular department and you can get away with 1,200, why pay 5,000? Why pay them? Get your payout, go find another job. Plain and simple, man. No pity, man. I have no pity, man. I have no pity for these people, man. Anybody who's been, living on the high horse now, and they have to come down and actually, drink some regular water. Now they complaining. I have no pity for these people, man. You guys let me know what you think. How you feel about Elon and Doge, and the audits and these world leaders, feeling some kind of way because we want to cut off funding. The United States want to cut off funding, and we want to know where our tax dollars are going. We want to know the accountability for the finances that's being spent when you can drive in cities across America and downtown and see people laid out in their own feces and needles on the ground, and veterans who can't get medical, people who have served in war who got to fill out tons of paperwork to get medical, but yet you're just giving it out to people coming across the border. You're giving it out to people in other countries, but people in America can't get it. Makes no sense, man. Why are you paying health insurance? What are you paying into it for? Leave a comment, share the channel. BigHerc916.
Hello, I'm BigHerc916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking.
Never settle for average. Go to BigHerc916.com and pick you up a hat. It's in the description. Over there, I could be raw, real, and uncut. Don't have to worry about the algorithm. Don't have to worry about the shadow banning or being censored. I can give you stories that I can't share over here. And I got some hella fire stories. I'm also going to be showing you guys a lot of the behind the scenes stuff going on where the camera is just a fly on the wall. So, hey, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. BigHerc916.